We are in an era of rearmament.
Notre pays et notre continent.
To avoid war, our country and continent need to be ready.
Si nous voulons éviter la guerre.
Faced with the threat of US disengagement from NATO and the war in Ukraine, America's support for European defense is wavering.
Private Ryan won't be giving his life on our beaches anymore.
France has promised to ramp up defense spending, putting its industry into overdrive.
There's no more room in the factory.
From the factory floor to AI engineers, will the defense sector rise to the challenge?
Ici, tout est fermé. Le bidon est plein. On a une verte turbine ouverte en connexion inverse. Pas de corps étranger, pas de fuite sous l'avion.
Final checks for Commander Thomas, who's preparing for takeoff.
Pas de point dur, pas de fuite.
At this Dutch airbase, these pilots are participating in a 2-week-long NATO exercise, Ramstein Flag 2025. A way for the alliance to show off its military clout.
It's the best plane in the world, a source of real pride.
Also for nations to showcase their expertise, like France's crown jewel, the Rafale fighter jet.
This is the Rafale F4, the fourth major version of the jet, and it offers a lot of improvements in terms of capacity, like the AASM Hammer Bomb 1000, which is a 1-ton armament. We also have a helmet with an eyepiece that projects information, some augmented reality which helps us with the transition between inside and outside the plane.
90 aircraft from more than 15 countries. Rafales, Gripens, Eurofighters, F-35s. High-intensity training and an increasingly rare moment of unity, at a time where Europe is asking just how reliable its US ally really is.
As you know, we recently elected a new president in the United States, and we're still trying to figure out the exact policies that they're going to be coming out with. But I know that we're going to be here in Europe, as evident now here at Ramstein Flag 25. And matter of fact, we're already starting to look at Ramstein Flag 26.
Reassuring words today, but the US accuses Europe of being too reliant on American defense. Just the latest sign of cooling transatlantic ties for this retired Army general.
We've got Trump. We might have Vance next time, and that won't be any better. But European countries now understand they had their heads in the sand. They didn't want to see the obvious. They didn't listen when Obama talked about a strategic pivot, or see how during his mandate he withdrew troops from Europe. They didn't understand that the majority of Americans today are from non-European backgrounds. That wasn't the case when Americans came to Europe in 1917 and in 1944 here.
A brutal reality check. Supply chains can be spread across multiple nation-states. Projects like the Franco-German SCAF air safety system or MGCS tank technology are taking time to manufacture.
Today, we need to see France's defence as part of European defence, not like when it was France's own future within an occupied Europe. Nation-states must come together and move past their differences, perhaps even look beyond their own interests, to produce a defence capacity for Europe that's up to the challenge.
France has made the defence industry a pillar of its economy, the biggest weapons exporter in Europe, second internationally, far behind the US, and just ahead of Russia. Today it includes 4,500 companies and 9 big industrial groups like KNDS France, Thales, Dassault or Naval Group, employing more than 200,000 people. With a portfolio that includes fighter jets, combat helicopters, artillery systems, Missiles, shells, frigates, and submarines. And France wants to go even bigger.
Production capacities need to be doubled, which means creating new production lines for boats, planes, tanks. There's also the need to recruit engineers, technicians, extremely well-qualified workers who can work on this equipment.
In this factory in the Val de Loire Centre region, a 50-person strong team works on the screws and joints used in military aircraft.
These are for a helicopter.
Highly specialized and painstaking work, where even 1/10 of a millimeter matters, and screws are rigorously tested. 1/5 of the security-cleared staff are dedicated to quality control alone. Since war broke out in Ukraine, Olivier Boisjou's company has seen rapid growth, doubling its turnover in just 3 years.
Volume has increased, which means more to manage. Before, we'd be asked for 1,000 parts, and now it can be 2,000 per order. And also, there's more urgency because clients consume more quickly than expected. So we have all these factors at once, and we're overrun everywhere.
The company has had to adapt quickly.
We have 2 new turning machines which will arrive in July to help increase output. And as we don't have any more room in the factory because we're really full, we're going to get rid of the old cam lathes to free up space.
New machinery and a growing workforce who have a very niche set of skills.
There are flat heads, pan heads, rounded heads, bihexagonal heads. And then you have different threads, 6-lobe, cruciform, Torx, American. So there's a wide variety of parts, and it's difficult for the operators.
Thousands of jobs remain vacant in factories across the country, which is why Decomatique now trains up its staff in-house.
Over the past few years, we've had to change the way we recruit. Before, we would hire according to someone's CV and qualifications and their professional experience. Now we recruit according to life skills and a skill set that fits with our work. Rigor, people who follow procedures, attention to detail.
HR isn't the only obstacle for companies like these. It can be a difficult financial balancing act. Cash needs to be readily available to buy raw materials, yet the return on investment takes months.
We always have a year's supply of stock material. So 1 year is 2 rooms full of traceable stock. This is worth about 1 million euros. So doubling capacity and activity would mean twice that in surface area and twice the finance to buy it.
In March, the government announced it will create a 450 million euro defence fund, where French citizens can invest directly. For Decomatique's president, there are better alternatives.
We'd rather see zero-interest loans, grants based on investment obligations, or lower social security costs or taxes.
As the battlefield evolves, so does the face of the defence industry.
We've trained AI to differentiate between someone who's wearing camouflage from someone in civilian attire.
This startup uses artificial intelligence to analyze images in real time.
Here you can distinguish a truck from a lorry, an everyday vehicle.
Created to help the Ukrainian military, the software analyzes from a distance, displaying the degree of accuracy for each object or figure. Like here, this tank in red, a 78% chance it's the enemy.
Alta Ares has developed AI algorithms that analyze pixels that detect what the human eye cannot pick up on in situations of stress and fatigue.
The company brings together engineers who specialize in AI and data management. Prize-winning technology that can be fitted to even low-cost drones.
France wants to become a European leader in artificial intelligence and is backing it both financially but also in terms of infrastructure.
Such as Amiad, a new AI branch of the Defense Ministry. Created last year, it's just unveiled a new research hub at Paris's prestigious engineering Polytechnique University. It plans to triple its staff by the end of 2026 and is working on a partnership with France's juggernaut AI unicorn, Mistral. For Europe, surveillance is also a top priority.
At the moment, in case of a major conflict, we benefit from American intelligence. But this is no longer a reliable option. We need to get back the capacity for autonomous intelligence, which we only partly have. We need to launch constellations, satellites into the sky. The Americans have, I think, around 250 military satellites for intelligence and comms. Europe has perhaps 20 or so.
Are the skies the limit when it comes to budget, though? The EU's €800 billion rearmament plan remains a work in progress, and France's national deficit continues its steady increase. But polls show a majority of French people now favour increased defence spending. And when there's a will, often there's a political way.